Well, we've got someone on the phone now that was very close to the action, right in the middle of it, in fact. And Billy Burns is joining us. How are you, Billy?
Hi, lad. Yeah, all good, thank you.
Congratulations on the win, mate. You must be pretty stoked with that.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, no, it was good. It was. I can't imagine it was the best game to watch, and probably at half time most people would have written us off. But yeah, no, we did well in the second half. Came back with a couple of nice tries, and yeah, it was good to get over the finish line.
Can you just tell us how KV helped facilitate that win in any way, just so we can question him?
Honestly, I was rooming with him the night before the game, and the amount of chat I had with him about this rugby pod, lads, you need to settle down with him because he wouldn't shut up about it. But
was he loving it, or is he loving it, or taking offence?
He was listening to it before the
game.
He's
absolutely loving it, mate. He's loving it. I think. I think he thinks that he's sort of like a co-owner in the show. He's going around telling everybody that he runs a show when he comes down to wherever you boys are based. But KV's been a good crack. Obviously, it's been tough for him not getting much game time lately, but hopefully he'll get a shot this weekend, I think.
Billy, it's quite hard to hear you where you are. It's sort of, have you got a landline or any better reception that you can move to?
Hang on a sec. If you give me 1 second, I'm just about to pop in the house. Sorry.
No worries.
That's all right. It just keeps going in.
Is that better now? You got me now?
Oh, there we go.
Yes.
There you go. Sorry, lads. I was in the car.
Yeah, so just tell us about KV. You were just rooming with KV then. So
yeah, mate. Yeah, no. Like I said, he just talking up the show constantly, mate. He was. I think he was writing some notes that he wanted to. He was doing some article about something somewhere along the line. But no, he's been good crack for us. He's a good lad to have around the club. Obviously, he's been here for a bloody age. Unfortunately, he's not been getting much game time lately. But I'm sure his time.
Oh, mate, I'm sure we will be getting a run out this weekend. It's Benetton, isn't it? So he's definitely going to be playing.
He'll be skipper of the Shags.
I enjoyed you boys getting stuck into about going down to Connacht as well.
Yeah, mate.
He didn't take that very nicely.
Nah, the big boys didn't play at Christmas, did they? So, especially the away games. Let's go back to the game then. Obviously, Leicester is a pretty tough place to go and play. You've played there plenty of times for Gloucester and stuff, and you were 13-0 down after nearly an hour. What were the messages coming on from the sideline, or even from Sir Rory Best as well? It must have been pretty nerve-wracking at times, was it?
Yeah, it was, mate. As you boys know, I think going up to Leicester, the only way you really stand a chance is sort of being physical and matching them in that sort of area, especially up front. And we probably didn't. They did a job on us at breakdown, and we couldn't really generate any attack. And whenever we did get any attack, we weren't very accurate. So it was kind of just, it was more of a man test. Dan sort of just picked on a few of the boys and sort of read them up. And I think you've seen in the second half of the reaction, we just sort of, we were arriving earlier to breakdowns. We were getting a bit quicker ball, which meant we could put them on the back foot a little bit. And we managed field position pretty well, which was good. And our discipline improved. So we could slowly sort of build a foothold back in the game, which was at the end of it, really, the telling difference, I think.
Well, actually, mate, the telling difference was someone doing a lovely little chip for Balakoon strike. Who was that? Who was that fella?
Oh, stop it, lad. Stop it.
Mate, honestly, let's talk about that. It was a great chip. Was that something that you'd seen in the Leicester defence over the week, or was it purely just instinct from yourself?
Do you know what, actually? Credit to Dwayne Peele at half-time. He said that for some reason, Leicester at the weekend, whenever you get into their 22, they filled the front line with 15 men, which I've never seen before. Sort of, not even Ben Youngs was in the backfield, and he just said sort of a quiet word in my ear as I was going out to the second half, just to keep my eye on it. And we got ourselves in a position, and there was acres of space in behind there. And when you've got wingers like we have with the speed they've got and the finishing ability, just to put it in the right place, and young Rob Balakoon came round and scored the try. And I think for a young lad as well to go under the sticks, it made a difference. So Coons could knock the kick over from in front of the post, so ended up winning to the game.
Well, good on Dwayne Peelback, mate. Give him a big shout from us here as well. Mate, big fan of him. Family, I saw Freddie was there at the game, was he? Did all the family go down in force? Yeah, mate, they were all there, yeah. Fred managed to wangle a box out of Simon Cohen somehow, so they were living up there. I think Fred enjoyed going back and getting a bit of love from the Leicester fans, which was nice. But yeah, no, it was good to have them there. I've not had them all watch together. Obviously, it's a bit difficult for them to come over to Belfast, but yeah, it was good to have them there, and they enjoyed themselves, that's for sure. Well, let's just talk about Belfast. Obviously, you know, the move came fairly late in terms of planning wise over to Ulster at the end of last season. Now, you've settled in, and the club this year has been remarkably different from what it was last year at Ulster. You seem to have settled in really well. Tell us what it's like over in Belfast at the minute, and more importantly, have you bumped into Titty Von Tramp, Jim's nemesis? I've heard about this Titty Von Tramp, and
I've been looking for her, but I haven't quite found her yet.
Oh, mate, you'll find. I can. Yeah, just basically hang around the toilets, mate, in certain nightclub. She'll be here with her.
I'm waiting for Casey to give you the invite over, and I can just get under your wing, Jim, and follow you around. But no, mate, the club's a great place. Obviously, it was a tough year for the boys last year. I think a lot of credit's got to go to Dan McFarlane. I don't know how well you know him, Jim, but he's come in and he's been incredible. Like he's just got people enjoying their rugby. It's a great atmosphere to go into the club. It's a good balance of sort of working hard and improving, but also having a real good crack as well. And I think that's showing on the pitch. Like we pride ourselves on sort of doing the basic things real well and never getting outworked or outmuscled. And I think that's shown in a couple of performances. Like I think you probably would have written us off at the start of the season with that group that we were in the Champions Cup. And a lot of our performances weren't pretty, but we got the job done and we've got a quarterfinal to show from it. So I think Dan's got to take a lot of credit. And also like we've got a young group of boys here who are just hungry to win and succeed. And there's a lot of lads who sort of been chucked in the deep end and they're just playing with no fear, which is great. And that's quite a dangerous thing to have as a side. So it's a good balance. We're still a long way off where we want to be. Obviously we had it difficult in the Interpros. We probably didn't pick up as many wins as we'd want, but hopefully we can get back on the horse in the league this weekend with Benetton at home.
Mate, I love getting back on the horse. But you mentioned Dan McFarlane. It's your first year as well, obviously being there, but it's the first time in 5 years that Ulster have obviously made the quarterfinals, and the reward for that is a trip up, down to local rivals but friends, Leicester. So congratulations, I think.
Thanks, mate.
Not one that you would have picked, but has that been spoken about? I mean, obviously there's a few weeks down now until that takes place.
No, do you know what? We touched on it a little bit this morning. Like I think again, this is what Dan's brilliant at. He sort of brought not just the playing squad, but all the staff in and just said, like, we've worked hard to get where we are in that competition. Obviously, looking at the draw, there isn't no easy teams, but Leinster's probably up there in the top one or two that are really firing this year. So we know that'll be a tough challenge, but it's good for us as well. It's something to look forward to down the road. Obviously, we've got some massive games in the Pro 14 coming up that are really going to shape our season. Obviously, it's always a challenging part of the year when a lot of the Six Nations boys go away.
That's right, mate. Cavey will take you, mate. He'll take him over to Benetton, mate. Don't worry.
That's it, mate. That's it. It's where Cavey comes in and leads the boys in. But no, mate. Yeah, like it's just a good atmosphere around the place at the moment, and Dan's sort of been at the forefront of that, but he's also very keen to keep our feet on the ground. So we're not getting too ahead of ourselves just yet.
And then just looking back on to how you moved from Gloucester over to Ulster, was it a difficult decision at the time, or was it a case of as soon as you knew Cipriani was coming in, you were going to move over there? Because also, I noticed the Ireland squad got announced last week, and Joe Schmidt actually name dropped you, didn't he, and said that you've been playing well. So,
and you basically owned an Irish Terrier once, yeah.
So was that was that obviously a pull, or was it a kind of let's go and give it a wing and see what happens?
Do you know what? I'd be lying if the Cipriani thing didn't play a part in it. I'm one of those guys that I love playing rugby week in, week out, and I just felt like I would struggle to get that at Gloucester, and obviously Ulster was an opportunity that came up. It's a club with a rich history, and things couldn't really have fell into place any better. And sort of the first thing, there was a lot made out that I came over here just to play for Ireland, but like I'm a long way off being an international quality fly half. Like I know I've got a lot of things to work on until that happens. And the main thing for me was to be coming to a club that I felt I could play at, who were ambitious, who were playing sort of at the top table of Europe, and I felt like that I could get that here. And it's almost felt like a new club this year, because obviously with so many changes, a lot of players leaving, it's almost like we've just started afresh, and that's something that I'm really enjoying. So it definitely played a part. I left Gloucester with fond memories. I still support the club. I've enjoyed watching them go this year. But sort of weekends like the weekend just gone, they sort of they make me feel a lot better about the move and make me feel like I made the right decision.
Good stuff, mate. You certainly have. Last question from me then. Who's better, you or Freddie?
At what? At what?
At what, Goody?
Well, we'll start with rugby. We'll start with rugby.
Oh, well, at the moment, no, we're both. I couldn't say it, Goody. I think Fred's been playing well. He's been playing well, to be fair, especially after what happened with him few weeks ago, months ago. But
yeah, you're both going exceptionally well, actually.
Well, he was saying that Mum loves him more because he took her on holiday to Dubai, apparently. So
I know. What about that? He didn't even tell me about that until they were on the plane. Like,
unbelievable.
Brownie points. But
all right, Billy. Thank you very much for joining us, mate. Best of luck for the rest of the season.
Cheers, lads. All the best.
Cheers, Billy. Good man.
Bye.
Top boy, isn't he?
You say that about everyone.
No, but he is though.
Good friend of yours.
No, but he is though.
He is.
Like,
He is.
I
know. He is.
And that family are a very, very tight knit family. They're all quality people. If you watch Freddie's Instagram or whatever, he's always hammering his mum on there, with making a dance and do silly things. It's a very nice family. They're very good people.
Yeah, they're a great bunch. And we speak highly of Freddie. Obviously, getting Billy on here as well. I was at Gloucester as he was coming through. As a 13-year-old, he looked like at the time. Aside the fact that they're great rugby players, but great bloke, and he didn't talk about it there. We've all spoke about Cipriani going to Gloucester, how well he's done there, but I know, speaking to Freddie and speaking to a few people at Gloucester, he was gutted. He was gutted by the way that it come about. Whether that was because the business was done the way it was done, I don't know about that, or the fact that he'd come all the way through Hartbury and he was cementing his place in that team. And then to leave, I think it all came round quite quickly.
Yeah, and it's harsh, but the flip side of it, it's opened up an amazing opportunity for him.
Right.
And you can look back on it, and of course, he's left with a heavy heart because he was a Gloucester lad, come through the academy, as you said, and was the first team fly half. But sport is now business.
Yeah.
And each club makes it like a business, and they make ruthless decisions at the time that people think are right and wrong. And they saw an opportunity to sign Cipriani. They just jumped on it. And it's worked out brilliantly for Billy. For Joe Schmidt to name drop him when he was announcing his squad and saying that he's playing well, there's obviously a few people behind Sexton that are pushing. It can only be a good thing for him.
And he's young as well, isn't he? And then, Sexton's not going to go forever, is he?
Nah.
Well,